let's talk more, shall we, about the bloke who used to be referred to as Prince Andrew. Now, since his public disgracing, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. You might remember that a couple of weeks ago, I think we broke the news on the show, a congressional committee in Washington, D.C., wrote to him requesting that he come and give evidence to their inquiry into the notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew's connections to him. They set the deadline of the 20th of November for the former prince to reply, and his response today, which is the deadline, is not to have replied at all. The committee says it's very disappointed that he hasn't even bothered to answer their request. Neama Rahmani is a Californian attorney with West Coast Trial Lawyers and a former federal prosecutor. Neama, great to have you with us on the programme tonight. Thanks very much indeed for coming on to LBC. What do you make of
course, thanks for having me.
What do you make of this, well, I was going to say response, but really this complete lack of response from Andrew?
Well, I'm not surprised at all. It would be incredibly reckless, really downright stupid for Andrew, I don't know if he's called Andrew or Andy, now that he's no longer a member of the royal family, Andrew, to show up in the United States under any circumstances, much less to testify before Congress. Let's not forget, people are being prosecuted here for what they've said to Congress. James Comey, former FBI director, for one. So to the extent that Andrew were to come here and actually talk about his affiliation with Epstein and whether he denies it, which I expect him to do like he's done to the British media, that's a basis for him to be prosecuted based on those lies.
Why would he be prosecuted? Because he obviously says he's done nothing wrong. Yes, he knew Epstein. Yes, he he hung out with him at times and so on. But he's always denied any sort of criminal wrongdoing whatsoever. So why would he face prosecution?
Well, he can be prosecuted for lying to Congress. He also said he didn't know Virginia Giuffre.
Only if he lies. Only if he lies.
Only if he lies. But people are being prosecuted right now for lying to Congress. So why subject yourself to potential criminal liability? Your reputation is tarnished. There's no legal or PR reason why he should come back to the United States. It's just risky from every angle. So I'm not surprised at his response.
But the lack of even a rejection to the committee's request that he come and give evidence, does that not show not just a complete lack of regard and respect for the congressmen and women that have invited him, but also for the victims, the Epstein's victims, who that committee are trying to get to the bottom of what happened on behalf of?
Well, it does. Look, people are going to assume that he's guilty because he didn't show and he didn't respond. The problem is, if he does, it's opening up a whole new can of worms. And let's not forget, Virginia Giuffre is dead. So, and the civil lawsuit that she filed is settled. But if there were someone else who were to come forward and were to accuse Andrew of sex abuse, there's no statute of limitations for that in the United States.
But
he can be prosecuted at any time. And if he comes to Congress and lies about it, those statements can be used against him and be the basis for a separate prosecution as well.
Could he not have written back and said, look, I can't come at the moment, I'm busy washing my hair, I've got to move house because my brother's kicked me out the Royal Lodge, whatever the reason may be. But I'm very happy to answer. This is a very important issue. I understand that you're doing this investigation on the behalf of Epstein's victims. I will assist in any way I can. I'm happy to answer any questions in writing. Could he not have done something like that?
He could have, and maybe it would have lessened the PR blow, but I think that ship has sailed already. I mean, his reputation is in the gutter. So right now he needs to avoid staying out of prison here in the United States and avoid another lawsuit, which he probably doesn't have the ability to pay. So right now the reputational harm or the upside of him responding is probably far outweighed by the likelihood that he's going to put something in writing or say something that is a lie for which he can be prosecuted for. So any lawyer who's advising them, if they have any sense whatsoever, look, he can't be extradited to the U.S. He's not charged. So unless he steps foot on American soil, that subpoena from Congress doesn't mean anything. It's not enforceable.
Thank you, Neama. Neama Rahmani is a Californian attorney with West Coast Trial Lawyers, former federal prosecutor. Let me know what you make of that.